Okay, we should be going into match quite shortly, I believe. Zong Ying has already selected his Pokemon. Should be connecting to Matthew soon. What else do you know about Matthew?
I don't know. I mean, I all I know is that he won the Australian Nats. Then after he went to Worlds, and then I don't know what happened.
Is there any achievements as of VGC 16 or?
I haven't been keeping up to date, unfortunately. Unfortunately, Zong Ying is in Japanese. Zong Ying's game is in Japanese. So
we need your help. No, really, I need your help. No, you come and help me, please, boss. I don't know Japanese.
Okay.
Well, unfortunately, Zong Ying's DS is in Japanese, so
we will figure it out ourselves.
Okay, we'll have to look at the animations, I guess. I'm not very fluent in Japanese, not like Matthew Hui, as much as he denies it. Alright then, we should be going to match quite shortly.
And we see Matthew's team of Groudon, Smeargle, Bronzong, Salamence, Thundurus, and Kyogre. While Zong Ying is bringing a Kyogre, Talonflame, Rayquaza, Aegislash, Landorus, and Kangaskhan. All things considered, these teams look pretty stable. I mean, both of them are... Actually, no. Zong Ying's bringing a Rayogre, whereas Matthew's bringing a dual primal team. In fact...
Are you commentating or are we commentating? Oh, okay.
In fact, I would say... that the dual primal team seems more defensively orientated, whereas the Rayogre team seems to be trying to push as much offensive pressure as possible.
On Zong Ying's side, it kind of reminds me of VGC 15 with the Landorus, the Kangaskhan and the Aegislash. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see. I mean, Bronzong has been quite a popular pick nowadays, and Aegislash should be able to counter that quite nicely.
In fact, the thing, unfortunately, Bronzong seems to will actually be in a very good position versus the Rayquaza and the Kangaskhan. So it's going to be it's going to depend on who like most of VGC 16 matches. I think it will depend on what the lead choices are and who actually leads better and be able to push the momentum from there.
I kind of question whether Zong Ying wants to bring in his Rayquaza. It's not going to do much against the Bronzong, and probably the trick room mode on Matthew's team is going to be the strategy he's going to employ.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, if he can take out the Bronzong with Landorus, Aegislash, Groudon, Kangaskhan, then Matthew will be...
He doesn't have Groudon as Kyogre.
Alright, right.
It's a Rayogre team, but yeah, Aegislash, definitely Landorus as well, but Landorus I don't think will be able to touch the Bronzong if it is Levitate.
That's true.
We'll be going into match.
But Landorus will be able to... Yeah, actually Landorus is probably going to be quite useless over here. So, let's see what...
And... We are experiencing some technical difficulties, and never mind, we are back into the game.
Battle. We're going to start. And we see Kangaskhan and Kyogre lead from Zong Ying, whereas Matthew is leading with Thundurus, Salamence. Now, actually, this is pretty bad for Zong Ying. I mean, Intimidate is now nerfing Kangaskhan's attack stat, and Thundurus can easily threaten a Kyogre with a Thunderbolt. In fact, if it's a more offensive Thundurus, it might actually be able to do upwards of 50% to 70% damage, thereby neglecting Water Spout. But we can see that Zong Ying's Kyogre is not holding the blue orb.
Yeah, something is a bit fishy about that Kyogre.
So,
I say, well, if it's scuffed, it could probably land the Ice Beam on the man's
tail
right off the bat.
At the same time, then he risks getting killed, getting destroyed by the Thundurus.
Well, Zong Ying does have Kangaskhan with the fake out support, so that's something he can rely on.
Although we have to also remember that Thundurus nowadays sometimes carry Protect, so...
Alright, we do see a Mega Evolution on the Mans. And Zong Ying should also Mega Evolve his Kangaskhan.
It should. Yep, and the Kangaskhan is Mega Evolving. I would think the safest way is to fake out an Ice Beam, but...
That seems the logical play here.
And we do see the Protect coming out from the Thundurus.
So, we will see...
The Protect.
Double Protect, actually.
Yeah. Kangaskhan goes for, I think,
fake out on the Thundurus.
And Ice Beam on the Thundurus, I would suppose. But...
Yeah,
but I guess
calling the man's Protect as well.
I mean, but now, without the fake out, now Thundurus and Salamence are capable of attacking at the same time. And Kangaskhan and Kyogre locked into Ice Beam is not going to be in a very good position here.
Was it Ice Beam, Matthew?
What else
Should
would
be,
it have been using?
yeah, well,
what else would it have been
Could have
using?
been Water Spout. Never mind.
No, it was a single target attack.
Okay, so well, Kangaskhan also being intimidated is not going to do much. Man's quite good physical defense. Will Zong Ying switch out here, or will he just risk staying?
I mean, if he switches out to, yeah, he doesn't actually have a lot of Pokemon to switch out to. He could switch to Landorus, but Landorus is going to take a lot of damage. He could switch to Aegislash. Aegislash is still going to take a lot of damage from Thunderbolt. So I think he's actually in a very bad position here. He can't really switch.
But at the same time, staying in is just a battle of which lesser of two evils.
And we
see a
see
man's retreat though.
Yes, the man does retreat. Kyogre coming in, probably trying to absorb the Ice Beam if it does come out onto the Kyogre slot.
And it is a primal as we see from the evolution here.
I would think that if Zong Ying actually wanted to take out the Thunderous, he would have gone for the Water Spout instead. So the fact that he went for the Ice Beam means that he was actually gunning for the Salamence.
And Thunderous goes for a Thunder Wave, paralyzing the supposedly scarfed Kyogre.
It's probably Scarfed. And the Scarf Kyogre goes for a fully paralyzed. Kangaskhan does manage to get an attack off, but at -1, I'm not sure whether it will be able to take out the Thunderous. And we do see the Citrus Berry. Thunderous is still going to stay on the field for one more turn, possibly spreading more paralysis. And now with his own Kyogre brought in safely, Matthew is in a very good position here.
Yeah, could land the Thunder on his
On
Zong Ying's Kyogre as well. And
it depends, because some Kyogre don't actually run any electric attacks, so
well, either way, the Kyogre, Zong Ying's Kyogre is locked into a Ice Beam, so it's not going to pose much threat.
especially with the T-Wave on it. I mean, even if he switches out now, he's just going to come back in and it's not going to do much.
Yep.
He can't even change the weather for the when the Groudon comes in. So I think, quite honestly, the Kyogre is a bit of a dead slot right now.
That is a bit unfortunate here. So Matthew, despite taking more damage on his Thunderous, definitely in control here.
Thunderous going for the Protect, probably not wanting to take any random attacks. Kangaskhan goes for the
Sucker Punch.
Sucker Punch onto the
Kyogre, trying to get off some chip damage before he goes down.
Water Spout.
Water
Probably
Spout.
going to take out Kangaskhan regardless of the damage. I mean, -1 wasn't a Sucker Punch, didn't do a lot to it. It's probably still about 120
And will
base power.
Kyogre still be fully paralyzed?
It probably did go for the Ice Beam onto the Thunderous, which did
Which
protect.
protected, yes.
So,
now, Zong Ying, what can you do to turn this around, Zong Ying?
I mean, Water Spout did only about 50 damage to the Kyogre, but this.
Well, at the back, I guess Zong Ying still has Rayquaza to rely on, although he has to get rid of the Thunderous somehow.
And he has to deal with the Kyogre as well, because he does actually go straight for the Rayquaza. He has a problem of getting his Rayquaza paralyzed as well. But he probably also has to think about whether, because we saw that that Matthew's Kyogre isn't doing a lot of damage to his own Scarf Kyogre. So if he manages to get the Thunderous out of the picture, Rayquaza might actually be able to. Oh, and he actually switches out, going straight for the Aegislash. Maybe he was trying to lure an attack onto that
Maybe he was
slot.
trying to lure the Thunder Wave.
Thunderbolt does go onto the Kyogre. It's probably going to take it. Oh,
No,
it doesn't
not.
take it out.
Hangs on.
But
barely.
the opponent Kyogre goes for the Ice Beam
On
onto
the
the
Aegislash.
Aegislash. Will he be able to pull off an Ice Beam and take out Thunderous this turn? Ice Beam comes out and doesn't
Should
take.
be enough to
it should
kill
be
the
taken.
Thunderous.
Yes.
Well,
Pretty
at
good.
least Zong Ying is getting something back, I suppose.
But you kind of wonder why he switched out his Rayquaza. Why didn't he just protect? Is it possible that the Rayquaza is actually
Could be. Or either way, the Aegislash switch in was pretty good to
But at the same time,
absorb the Ice Beam.
at the same time, Salamence is still available, and Salamence one thing good about Mega Salamence is that it outspeeds Mega Rayquaza. It's still capable of doing heavy damage to Rayquaza. So I think Zong Ying is in a very, very bad position. He might actually have to count on Aegislash to pull him through this game.
Definitely.
But Kyogre is making it very difficult for the Aegislash to do much of anything.
Yeah, I mean, since Matthew's primal Kyogre is pretty much out, okay, as in maybe 80% health, Water Spout is doing a decent amount of damage in the rain. So that's
Yes.
something that Matthew still can count on.
I mean, Aegislash might have Wide Guard, so maybe that might deter the Kyogre from attacking with Ice Beam. But we don't know whether the Kyogre also has stuff like Scald.
Yeah, so at this point, Kyogre going for Water Spout, maybe the man's going for a single target attack to, kind of hedge your bets a bit against maybe the Aegislash has White Guard.
But at the same time, it comes to the point where it's a bit of a mind game, because it doesn't make sense for Zong Ying to use a Wide Guard. If the Salamence does go straight for the attack, Oh, he goes for the King
King
Shield
Shield.
on the Aegis Sash, maybe trying to sacrifice his Kyogre.
That looks to be the case. We do see a double edge land on Zong Ying's Kyogre, taking it out quite easily.
But I don't think that it's possible for the Mega Rayquaza to actually pick out a KO from the Mega Salamence at this point, unless the Mega Salamence does not have a Dragon Attack, which is kind of possible.
Well, we've seen double edge, we've seen... What else have we seen? Protect?
We've
That's
seen
all.
Double Edge, we've seen, I think, Hyper Voice? Have you seen Hyper Voice?
Not yet, I think.
Yeah.
But logically,
yeah.
it should have the Hyper Voice. Well, it leaves room for a Draco Meteor, or it could be a Tailwind.
Yeah.
Either way, Rayquaza comes onto the field.
If it
being
is-
very threatened here by a Kyogre
Yes.
and a Mance.
If it is banded, it's probably going to be able to take out either one of these Pokemon, but the other one's probably going to be able to take it out just as
Indeed,
quickly.
indeed.
And if Matthew's last Pokemon happens to be Groudon, Aegis Sash is not going to improve much of protection here.
Yes, indeed. Well, we have not seen Aegislash do anything yet, so...
I mean, I think it's very, very hard just because of the speed that of the base speed of the Pokemon over here. And Salamence is controlling the entire field at this point of time. And if the Rayquaza is banded and unable to protect, Aegis Sash is not going to be able to take out the Kyogre. And
Or
the
the
Kyogre's
Mance, yeah.
Kyogre's probably going to take it out with a Water Spout. So I think it's quite hard for Matthew to lose here.
So he does have the advantage with one more Pokemon unknown at the back.
It's probably the Groudon.
And we do see a Protect come out from the Mance, okay?
That might actually be a bit of a
And the
mistake.
Rayquaza has not Mega Evolved actually.
It goes for the extreme speed.
And we see a Scout land on the Aegislash. And Aegislash goes for an attack. Does it hit the Kyogre here?
At least I think it was the extreme
Nope,
speed of
it
Dragon.
goes for the Mance.
I think Matthew clearly understands that Zong Ying's main priority is to get rid of the Salamence. So, but why is... Oh, right, he can't Mega the Rayquaza at all. Because he Mega his Kangaskhan earlier.
Ah.
So,
Yeah, well, Rayquaza still locking down the weather decently, so Aegislash took that Scout pretty well, I
but
would
at the same time, Rayquaza's not going to be able to take out that Salamence.
Rayquaza going for the Protect
Oh,
here.
so it is capable of protecting. Aegislash going for the King Shield. I'm really not sure what the play is here.
No, at this point, Matthew can just slowly grind down Zong Ying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And double Protect, yep, all attacks. Pretty much a dead turn this turn. Well, we've not seen Matthew's last Pokemon as well.
It
Maybe
could possibly, if it's Groudon, actually, if the Rayquaza happens to have a water attack, the Groudon is probably doesn't want to switch in anyways. So, but I think he's capable of taking on Rayquaza and Aegislash with just the Salamence and the Kyogre. As we can see, Rayquaza using, I think that's Dragon Ascent. Yeah.
Yep.
Probably targeting Kyogre. I'm not sure they'll take it out. Yes, it
barely
doesn't.
doesn't.
Without a Mega, it's not capable of doing enough damage to take out of Max HP Kyogre.
And there was no Life Orb as well, and Rayquaza should go down to the Ice Beam.
I believe the Rayquaza was probably sashed.
Yep. So we've seen the Mance go for double H, and Aegislash should be able to pick up the KO on
Either one of these
Kyogre.
Pokemon.
Yeah.
It goes for the Shadow Ball onto... No, it doesn't actually pick up the KO.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, it would have if they had gone for the Kyogre, I feel, but
I guess Zong Ying was hoping to go take out both Pokemon at the same time and hope that his last Pokemon is probably Bronzong or Smeargle.
yeah, but it didn't really work out in his favor. He did miss the KOs by decent amount of HP for Kyogre especially, and we do see Hyper Voice come out. Aegislash not bothering to switch back into
Probably
Shield
knowing
Form.
that it's pretty much a lost game
Yep.
at this point.
And Scout will pick up the KO, and Matthew takes the first game in this set.
In fact, I think Matthew already got in a very good position from the very start. He had the good lead positioning, so it gets very difficult for Zong Ying to maneuver himself into a situation where he can actually counter what Matthew is doing.
I also feel that there was that one turn where the Mance protected, where Zong Ying could have maybe done some good damage onto the Kyogre. He just didn't call the Protect correctly.
Yeah, I mean, in that sense, I guess that's why Matthew outpredicted him in that way. So.
And if you are right that the Rayquaza is Sash, then Zong Ying has another problem in hand, which is the Thunderous, which is spreading paralysis all
everywhere,
over.
yes.
Yeah, definitely a big threat to both Rayquaza and the Scarf
Yeah.
Kyogre, if it is Scarf. Could be specs. I
In
don't know
fact,
Zong Ying.
I find it. I'm not sure exactly what kind of lead Zong Ying will need to use in order to break through the Thunderous and the Salamence lead. In fact, Salamence seems to be giving him a lot of trouble, especially since it stops Rayquaza straight in its tracks.
Well, the one Pokemon he could use as a lead would be Landorus.
I mean, I think what happened was that Matthew identified that Zong Ying's main problem was the Salamence. He made sure that Salamence was alive all the way until the end, and that's why he managed to win.
I kind of feel that Thunderous was more the MVP. The paralysis of
the paralysis
Kyogre took away what
totally
sort of
helped.
advantage that Zong Ying had.
I think Zong Ying was banking on the fact that Matthew would bring Pokemon that were probably not weak. Were probably weak to the Scarf Kyogre
Water Spout, yeah. Well, it's hard to say, but
I guess
maybe
Salamence kind of Salamence shut down his. I mean, we have to see what the Landorus is running as well. So we can't exactly.
But I can't. Against theoretically, if Matthew leads the same lead, Landorus will do perfect. Won't be paralyzed by Thunderous. Can intimidate the man's right back.
But the possibility of a hidden power eyes coming straight to your face.
From
I mean, I'm not sure
Thunderous?
whether Thunderous is still running hidden power ice or whether they're running hidden power water.
Well, also depends on what set
Yeah.
Zong Ying is running. If he's using maybe Assault Vest, maybe since the Scarf has already been used up on the.
I do
Kyogre.
believe that most of the time, in the recent meta game, Landorus seems to be using a damage increasing item like Choice Band more than anything else. Or
Alright,
Assault
then we'll
Vest.
be going into the second game. Yep. Zong Ying has to win this one in order to keep the hopes of a tie alive for us.
Quite honestly, I actually really like Matthew's team. I really like Matthew's
Because
team.
of the Bronzong?
It just feels like something I would want to run, to be honest. And we see that Zong Ying is still going to push Kyogre and now Talonflame trying to protect the Thunderous, but Groudon coming out. This is very, very bad for Zong Ying.
The weather is going to be sun.
No, wait. He just needs to switch in his Rayquaza now to use the Water Spout. But Bronzong is probably going to just go straight for the Trick Room. So it becomes a bit.
Actually, the play he could go for
is
here.
a Flare Blitz straight onto the Bronzong.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a bit of a risk though.
He still has to switch out the Kyogre because I mean, you don't want to land. You don't want it to face off a.
You could just leave the Kyogre there for all we know. I mean.
What's he going to lock himself into?
No,
Water Spout?
yeah, but because the thing is, right, Matthew has to be afraid. Matthew has to protect his ground on this turn. He has to be afraid of the Rayquaza switching in and using Water Spout.
So in this case, the ideal for Zong Ying would not to switch out his Kyogre, thereby keeping Sun in play and boosting Flare Blitz.
Or he could just bring in another Pokemon that's actually.
Yeah, that doesn't change the weather.
Yeah, or modify it. He just goes straight for the Flare Blitz onto the Bronzong, hoping it's not heat
Do
proof.
Bronzongs run Protect typically?
I'm
is it a
not
sitting duck
quite
for the
sure.
Flare Blitz?
I think it might actually be a sitting duck. So for all we know, the Bronzong might switch out and then something else comes in. So that might also change. That's another play that might change things.
Well,
I honestly don't know what's the best play for Zong Ying here. But evidently, he thinks that he needs to get he needs to stop that Trick Room from coming up.
brings in the Kangaskhan.
Hephaestus is switching out as well, probably not wanting to take the potential Water Spout. And in comes Salamence.
Does intimidate the Talonflame, reducing his attack.
In fact, that's a very good play by Matthew. He reduces the fire, he gets Intimidate off. There's no way Zong Ying will be able to stop the Trick Room.
I kind of thinking maybe.
Oh, wait, no, he does.
Double switches actually.
It's a Kyogre coming
Yeah, he
in.
brings in the Kyogre.
Oh, wow, he's totally reading Zong Ying completely right now.
I kind of feel it's the switch was overkill. I mean, okay, if he had swapped in the Kyogre from the in the Mancer slot, he would still be able to use Bronzong to maybe set up a Trick Room,
But at
and
the
the Flare Blitz would totally not work in this raid.
But at the same time, if you think about it, Zong Ying's turn is dead. He has now intimidated Kangaskhan and intimidated Talonflame, and Salamence is in. It is probably going to be and Kyogre is in. He's in a very good position. If the Salamence sets up Tailwind now, Kyogre is just going to Water Spout his whole team away potentially. Origin Pulse if you're scared of.
At the very least, Zong Ying does have a bit of pressure from the fake out. Maybe Talonflame could do some chip damage with the Brave Bird, and sacrificing it might not be.
The thing is, right? There's no way Zong Ying can stop the raid. There's absolutely no way he can stop the raid. And none of his Pokemon wants to switch into the Kyogre at all.
Maybe his own Kyogre? No, but he doesn't want to reduce his own Water Spout damage.
Yes. So Zong Ying is in a very. In fact, one might say that maybe his best play was no. Actually, there's no way that he could have gotten out of this with
I
play.
kind of feel maybe Talonflame does have to maybe go for a suicide play here. Do see Mega Evolution on Men's side.
I think the problem comes is that Zong Ying has no real way of dealing with the opposing Kyogre.
So maybe he wants to try to get as much chip damage off as possible, at least to neuter the water spout damage outcoming from the Primal Kyogre.
But you also have to.
Oh,
Now, the Kyogre goes for the protect.
Here.
And I can't really see what's going on the screen right now.
Kangaskhan should be going for the
fake out. I'm
and
not
lands
sure.
on the protect, and we see Brave Bird should be landing on
To Salamence.
Yep.
But Salamence is probably free to Hyper Voice, do plenty of damage to both Talonflame and Kangaskhan. Talonflame and Kangaskhan not very being bulky. Oh, we see Tailwind!
Okay.
So, if Matthew is probably just going to go straight for the Origin Pulse right now, and then get a Hyper Voice off from his Salamence.
Should be able to clean up the game quite convincingly.
Yes. There's no way.
Maybe do you think double priority would be able to
No,
take down the Mets?
it might be able to take down the Mets, but the main problem isn't the Mets, it's the Kyogre right now.
Alright, okay, so assuming
Even if you take down one, the other one is still going to take you down.
they double target into the Kyogre and they all get crits, will it still be enough to take down the Kyogre?
I don't think so. I mean, you remember they're intimidated.
Yeah, that's true. That's why I said all get crits. But still quite a tall order for Zong Ying here, I feel.
I don't think it's possible for him to actually get into a good position to stop Matthew at this point.
And especially with the Tailwind
His
coming out.
only choice is that if he has Protect on his mons, and he manages to stall out Tailwind, and then. But I'm not sure whether it's possible because again he still has no way to take down the Kyogre.
All he's doing is just delaying the inevitable. I would say, how do I put it? What was my train of thought? Yeah, I mean, even if he brings in the Scarf Kyogre, the advantage is being neutralized since Tailwind is up on Matthew's side of the
Yes.
field. Oh, okay, well,
I guess the emergency Tailwind is pretty much all Zong Ying can do at this point of time.
and Kangaskhan should go for the
Sucker Punch onto the Kyogre, trying to weaken Water Spout damage. It's still going to take both of them down. Unless a Kyogre decides to go for Origin Pulse. Oh no,
see a
double
double
H.
H come out.
Probably not. Okay, not enough. Not
quite
enough. I guess it's not max attack on. Kyogre goes for the Water Spout, probably sensing, putting him into a 4-2 advantage right now.
I kind of feel that maybe Matthew shouldn't have gone for double H. The recoil on his own mans was a bit unnecessary.
Actually, the Tailwind might have been the play because now Zong Ying is in the position where he has the Scarf Kyogre and the Rayquaza. His Rayquaza isn't Mega Evolved, but Kyogre.
He can't Mega Evolve his Rayquaza,
Yeah.
he Mega the Kangaskhan.
But at the same time, this means he can Water Spout freely.
Oh,
And but it comes down to a point where the Water Spout is going to be able to take down the Salamence.
I guess Rayquaza does have option of extreme speed here.
But he needs to Dragon Ascend the Kyogre in order to take it out. He
That
needs
is
to be able to
true,
take down
yes.
both of these Pokemon.
So the play would be to
he-
Dragon Ascent and the Ice Beam, but locking himself with the Ice Beam is not going to be ideal.
Water
against-
Spout. He has to use Water Spout because Bronzong and Groudon are in the back. He has to use Water Spout.
So things not looking very ideal here.
But he can pull it out. He can pull it out. This is the one thing that Zong Ying can do.
Well, okay, Mans goes for a protect
He
here.
needs to Dragon Ascend the Kyogre.
And
hope- oh,
it's a double protect,
protect.
actually. Okay, scouting out the moves. Actually pretty smart since that Kyogre is going to be locked into a single
Yeah,
move.
Kyogre did go for the Water Spout. Groudon's probably not wanting to switch in here.
Definitely not.
So
Actually, if he switches in,
Yeah, he
Airlock will
can't-
still
he
be in
can't.
play. Yes, correct.
So no matter what, Zong Ying's best hope right now is to hope that Kyogre dies from the Dragon Ascent and plus the Water Spout.
kind of leaves you open to the Mans though.
And he needs to hope that Water Spout takes out the Ments. I mean, it is on low enough HP that it might possibly be happen.
well, we shall see. And,
And it
yes,
does, it
go
happens.
down.
It happens. Zong Ying is still in the game, but now he has to deal with the Bronzong because
Okay,
I think
Dragon
that-
Ascent.
Dragon Ascent should be able to finish off Kyogre from this health, even if it isn't Sashed or Life Form, even if it's not Life Form or Mega. But the problem now comes with the Bronzong because Bronzong is there.
Well, I mean, if the Rayquaza has a fire attack, that's one way he can damage
Yeah,
the Bronzong.
yeah, that's true. To be fair, we're not quite sure what else the Rayquaza has apart from Extreme Speed and Dragon Ascent.
And yeah, kind of actually, Matthew does have a way out here. He can protect his Groudon.
Set up Trade Room,
Yes,
and then
exactly.
so Matthew's still that's probably the play Matthew's probably going to go for. Kyogre is still probably going to Water Spout. Rayquaza has to do something to take out the Bronzong distance, or Zong Ying is going to lose.
or at least be at a severe disadvantage.
No, he's gonna lose.
So pessimistic.
Once he sets up Trick Room, Bronzong sets up Gravity, and Groudon just goes for the Precipice
Rayquaza
Blaze.
still be able. Well, Precipice Blaze is not gonna touch the Rayquaza, and he still has
Gravity.
a sash going. Okay, true, fair enough. But let's see how
And
this
then,
plays out.
and then in the next turn, Bronzong just needs to attack, and that's it.
Okay, Protect here on the Groudon.
Which we kind of expected already.
Yes.
So,
Water
Water Spout
Spout.
coming out. Yes, we know. Water.
Should do a decent amount of damage to Bronzong actually. Yeah.
He needs to be able to take out Bronzong with this attack. He
goes
goes
for
for
the
the
Dragon
Dragon
Ascent.
He has no
He
choice.
doesn't have a fire attack.
He probably doesn't have a fire attack. That's
And
enough.
doesn't
It is
bring the
not.
Bronzong
It
down.
is not. And I think that Zong Ying might. I think he just lost this game.
Yeah, Trick Room is up.
Now all the Bronzong needs to do is use Gravity, Precipice Blaze. That Rayquaza is at -2 health. Even if he takes out Bronzong this turn, or the Groudon this turn, he's not going to be able to take out the other one the next
Well,
turn.
I mean, extreme speed, yeah, won't be enough to kill the.
And the
Bronzong in
Kyogre
this
is
range.
not able to protect.
You know, actually, once, yeah,
Extreme-
very difficult for.
Even if he tries to extreme
Sonic.
speed, we saw Dragon Ascent doing less than 40% to the Bronzong. I don't think he's going to do much of
Oh, you
anything.
do see a
Gyro Ball, breaking
okay.
the sash.
Oh, that's a lot of damage to the Rayquaza,
Yeah.
especially with the defense drops. And we see Precipice Blades coming out. Rayquaza avoiding the attack.
Oh wait, this might.
He goes
Yes,
for
you
the
go waterfall
waterfall.
onto the Groudon.
Still not enough, but the water spot should be enough to finish off the job. Although
We
it is
shall
reduced.
see.
Yes,
And
it is
it's
enough.
not. Is it enough to take out? Yes, Zong Ying manages to cinch a win because, right?
The
Because he didn't go for the Gravity.
Yeah, he went for the Gyro Ball instead.
He should have gone for the Gravity.
Well, at least,
No, even if he went for Gravity, it wouldn't have mattered. He should have, yeah, I actually didn't expect the Kyogre to survive that attack. Oh well. So Zong Ying does manage to cinch a win, barely.
So we'll be going on to a game 3. Yeah, so I mean against all odds, Zong Ying still manages to clinch out a win. So I kind of feel that Matthew didn't bring his option of status, which was what helped him in the first game.
But at the same time, status is kind of unreliable, so maybe that's why he's avoiding it.
I wouldn't say it's unreliable. You get a guaranteed speed drop, and there's an added benefit of perhaps a chance of
Yeah,
paralysis.
I
I kind of feel that since he didn't bring the status, he is forced to bring in the Trick Room to deal with the
But to be fair, the Trick Room's
Scarf Kyogre.
To be fair, the Trick Room, if it wasn't... actually, Trick Room seemed to be doing quite well against the Scarf Kyogre set.
And he brought Tailwind as well to deal
Yeah.
with the Scarf Kyogre.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of bringing both Tailwind and Trick Room to counter his Zong Ying's Scarf Kyogre, a simple Thunder Wave will be able to do. But at the same time, Zong Ying is not going to reveal his Kyogre so early into the game, so that he's learned
But
from
the
the
way
first game.
Zong Ying, for all we know, Zong Ying might just lead the Kyogre anyway, so... I mean... The thing about Scarf Kyogre is you want to be able to do as much damage as possible from the start so that your rest of your team will be able to clean up.
And surprisingly, Matthew is using Mance very effectively. The Intimidate on Kangaskhan and Talonflame quite consistently nerfing damage.
I think Mance actually works very well for the dual primal teams because it gives them it increases the primal's bulk with the Intimidate, and you are able to do spread damage, and you're able to set up Tailwind. You're able to have so many options just with one Mega Pokemon.
So we've seen the Double Edge, we've seen the Tailwind, we've seen the Protect. Was it a Hyper Voice?
It should have been a Hyper Voice. It should have been a Hyper
That
Voice.
means that Rayquaza actually has a decent chance of surviving.
Rayquaza has a chance of surviving. That's true. That's very true. But you need to be a Mega Rayquaza in order to take out Mega Salamence, if I'm right.
Yeah, which okay, Zong Ying does have the option, but it's an option that he's not using. In all these matches, he's preferring to Mega Evolve his Kangaskhan instead.
I think that's actually a good call on his part because Kangaskhan has so much offensive pressure, although I'm not sure whether he's just doing it just because he needs to bring Kangaskhan and thinks that it's useless without the
I
Mega.
kind of feel that he does, actually, because the Landorus and the Aegislash is not really doing much for him, sadly.
I want to bet that the Landorus' Choice Pendant is going to explode the moment it appears, but I mean, I don't think it is.
Well,
but-
exposure is not going to do much to the Bronzong either,
Yeah,
so...
yeah.
Okay, well, either way, we should be moving on to the third game.
Zong Ying is
the
thinking
final game
very
of the match.
intensely about his lead choices over here.
Yeah, the Bronzong being definitely, since his Rayquaza doesn't have his own fire attack, we've seen maybe Protect, Dragon Ascent, Extreme Speed and Waterfall.
Yeah.
So
So going straight down to the wire in terms of timing. So
it'll be interesting to see what leads they go with this time. Will they still stick with the same thing that worked for them in game 2?
And despite us not knowing a word of Japanese, we seem to be doing fine.
Does help that there are some English names here and there. And well, Kyogre, Kangaskhan, same lead as before, correct? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, and Salamence and Thundurus. In fact, this is just the same leads from game 1.
Well, I kind of feel that Zong Ying has to protect his Kyogre. Definitely has to switch out here. Doesn't want to eat the Thunder Wave.
He can fake out, but he knows that Thundurus has protect, so it becomes a call of whether he to be fair, Matthew has nothing to lose to just go for the double protect right now.
Indeed, and kind of feels that maybe Zong Ying should switch out his Kyogre so he's not locked into a move and will lose momentum on the next turn.
But at the same time, if Zong Ying switches, he loses his momentum as well. Because I mean, if Matthew calls that, he calls that Zong Ying's calling double protect.
It's all mind games here. So
yeah, I mean, Kangaskhan's fake out is useful, but it won't be useful if Kyogre switches out.
Kangaskhan could have power punch, to power punch. Yeah, he wouldn't want to power punch his own Kyogre, nerfing his water spout damage.
In fact, I think Kangaskhan might just want to go for the double edge if the Kyogre goes for the switch, but at the same time that leaves whatever Pokemon's coming in open for a Hyper Voice or the Thunder Wave.
We do see a
Mega Evolution, so no
switches here.
switches.
Well, the Mans has to go for the protect here, I feel.
It's so you're going to be ballsy and just go for the
No Mega Evolution on Kangaskhan as well, and Thundurus goes for the protect here, along with
fake out.
Yep, nope. It's a double protect here. Kangaskhan should be going for the fake out. Yep. And
water spout, I think it's not working.
I don't know. I can't tell whether it's water spout.
I think it's water spout. I'm feeling it's water spout.
Well, either way now.
Was it water spout? Actually, I can't tell.
Well, it has to be a spread attack because he showed both
water
Thundurus
spout.
and
So it's water spout.
Okay.
Okay, so
definitely now Matthew can
either Origin Pulse. Could be an Origin Pulse.
Yeah, could be. But now Matthew does have an option to turn the momentum in his favor.
He can Thunder Wave the Kyogre again. He can. I mean, now everything is in Matthew's favor. I guess he figured that there was no point changing from something that worked. So
at the same time, okay.
Kyogre
not wanting to get paralyzed.
He's not required. Landorus is coming out.
Ooh.
And a new face on Zong Ying's side of the field.
Is a man's immune to electric attacks from the Thundurus.
But it's probably still going to take a lot of damage from the Hyper Voice.
And Kangaskhan finally Mega Evolves.
Why didn't it Mega Evolve previously?
I have no idea.
Did he forget? Did he just not care? Did he see the Protect coming and say, whatever?
I have no idea. Well, Thundurus going for the Thunder Wave here onto the Kangaskhan, reading the switch nicely, I think.
Yep, I think that. I mean, that sounds like what Matthew should have done.
And double H, landing on the Landorus, still doing a decent amount despite the Intimidate.
And Kangaskhan going for the double. No, fully paralyzed. Oh, that probably did matter.
It's a bit unfortunate, I feel.
It probably did matter, yes.
It definitely sets Zong Ying back a bit.
And Zong Ying is already on. He has one paralyzed Pokemon. His Landorus is on 40% health. He isn't not in a good position, and he needs to make big plays, or he needs to go and hope that, I don't know.
I kind of feel he has to take out the Thundurus at the very least because he wants his Kyogre to be able to come in and not be
paralyzed.
Yeah, not have the fear of being paralyzed.
Yeah. In fact, but then he also needs to be able to stay aware of the Salamence because he already saw that it has Tailwind.
And getting rid of the Thundurus is not as easy as might seem since it does have the Citrus Berry.
In fact, and we know that the Landorus is not Scarf because the Scarf is on Kyogre, so I don't really see a way for Zong Ying to do any significant damage before these Pokemon start throwing their attacks around.
Well, guess Sucker Punch here maybe?
Sucker Punch is not going to do much from an intimidated Kangaskhan onto the Salamence.
Well, Zong Ying is pretty pressed for options right now.
Yes, I can see.
Let's see if he can pull a miracle.
Like the last game? Yeah.
Definitely taking their time here. Come on, Matthew.
Oh, and a DC!
Zong Ying, did you DC the game on purpose? That's very bad sportsmanship, especially as an organizer. Well, I'm not sure how this is going to be resolved, especially since it's more than the first turn already.
Yeah, well, it's a second turn. It's the second
Sorry?
turn. It's the second or third turn.
Yeah, Zong Ying, so what's the call? So it'll be a rematch?
I don't know. We'll have to see what Zong Ying decides.
Yeah, he's I think desperately contacting the other Matthew right now, trying to explain himself. Oh, actually, we're not sure.
But if Landers was in the back, then... Oh, wait, yeah.
So Zong Ying, what's the call? Or John, what's the call? Sorry? Are there any rules like same fresh game? So no need to have similar leads,
Okay, so you're gonna go for a fresh game.
Fresh start for Zong Ying here. And for Matthew, I guess.
Actually, I mean that. Let's see whether Zong Ying is able to break the Thunderous Elements, or if Matthew decides to go and call that Zong Ying realizes that Thunderous Elements is
different leads. Okay.
Oh wow.
So there is a rule set in here, but
no, as in like you are able to choose different leads, but you're.
Or is it must be different leads? Zong Ying, is it must or able? Is it a mandatory different leads?
I don't think they will say must, right?
All right then. Well. Well, either way, we should be going on to a fresh round 3 again. Organizers' pride at stake here.
Barely pulling a win the second game.
Yeah,
so
Zong Ying does have the opportunity to win. Although I feel he does have to prioritize getting rid of Matthew's Thunderous. It is definitely a thorn in his side.
The thing is, he needs to get rid of both Thunderous and Salamence.
That's the challenge there, I think. But if he manages to get rid of the Thunderous, then his Kyogre will be able to check the Mance a bit effectively, and he'll give him a bit of more breathing room to play around with.
That's true, but at the same time, if he locks himself into Ice Beam, he'll have to switch out and be able to Water Spout again. And the problem with the Ryoga team that Zong Ying's bringing, I think it's just not very conducive to switching in a way.
Indeed, but actually, if you think about it, the Rayquaza is able to take out the Groudon, especially since if he can airlock and waterfall it. So that's not really a problem there. The problem will be the Bronzong.
No, the problem is that he needs to Mega in order to take out the Groudon in one hit.
Oh, Mega
You need to be a Mega.
Yeah, it did survive there earlier. Yes, it did.
Yeah, I ran the cows. You need to be Mega.
Really? Okay, well, maybe that's why Zong Ying didn't want to Mega his Kangaskhan in the first place.
Oh, that might be true.
Okay, either way, should be getting into the game shortly. Are we getting into the game shortly? John! Okay. Okay, yes. Could you bring out the selection screen? So
yeah,
yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Yes. Okay, we haven't seen the Smeargle at all. So for all we know, Matthew might just suddenly bring the Smeargle and throw. But I don't think he will. Smeargle's
he does have the advantage without the Smeargle already. So.
Yeah, I think Smeargle's too much of a wild card at this point in time. So. I would hazard a guess and say that he'll just eat Thunderous Salamence again.
So does Zong Ying have anything to capitalize on that lead?
He can lead Landorus, depending on what his Landorus is running, he could just lead Landorus right off. He could also, I think, yeah, Landorus Kyogre lead maybe? No.
I don't know.
Landorus Kang?
Intimidate is just so good against Zong Ying's team, I feel.
Yeah, it is.
The only special attacker that he can afford to bring, he doesn't want to because of the threat of paralysis.
The thing is, Zong Ying's team is mostly physical except for the Aegislash and the Kyogre, so it's not very easy for Aegislash to play around in this
Matthew
field.
brings in the same lead.
We kind of suspected that. And we see the same lead.
Zong Ying brings in the same lead, so despite them being able to bring a fresh start. Yeah.
I guess they kind of identified that these leads are the best that they can do. The thing is, right now that Matthew has already revealed that his tendency is to just protect on the first turn, double protect. Zong Ying might just want to switch out and bring in another Pokemon to threaten.
Yeah, all his Kangaskhan could power up punch is,
assuming he has power up punch.
That would be a very big play on Zong Ying's part.
But at the same time, if Zong Ying falls into that trap and Matthew just goes for straight the attack,
yeah,
right?
He'll definitely be pushed quite back in terms of advantage.
So it really comes down to who calls what on the lead.
Yeah, but in this case, definitely Matthew having a stronger lead here, I would say. Despite Zong Ying having fake out pressure. And
Kangaskhan does go for the return, and I think that's Talon Flame. And we see the Mega Salamence coming out.
Kyogre stays in, interestingly.
And then going to be any protects. This might actually go very badly for Zong Ying right now.
Very quickly for Zong Ying.
We see a protect from Thunders, we see a protect from Salamence.
And we do see, yep, Mans goes for the protect here.
So what? Oh, so now Zong Ying can go straight for the quick guard Ice Beam, take out the Mans immediately, or the Thunderous. Oh, he could just go for a quick guard Water Spout, try and take on Thunderous.
Or he might himself into Ice Beam already.
The problem is, oh, he did.
Yeah.
Oh well. Well.
I mean, it was a single target move just now that we
okay.
saw, since he didn't target the Thunderous.
The problem is now that
Thunderous is free to, I mean, despite having priority move, it could just go for the Thunderbolt.
that's true. But at the same time, the Talonflame could just switch out for Landorus or for another Pokemon. We're not sure. I wouldn't think so. I would think the Talonflame would do something else, like set up Tailwind or something.
Maybe Tailwind to match Mance's Tailwind?
Quick. No, Mance will probably switch out this turn. No, actually, there's a chance that Mance will also. I just don't know what. Oh yeah, Mance does switch out. Doesn't want to risk taking the Ice Beam at all. Groudon coming into play. If Zong Ying goes for the double target onto the Thunderous, this is going to be very bad for Matthew.
Well, I do see Ice Beam doing a lot of damage, but Talonflame outspeeding the Thunderous?
Yeah, why not? Brave Bird.
Oh, Brave Bird's not going to do much being Thunderous
But the,
but
the Thunderous is not extremely bulky from what we've seen.
We
so
shall see, and...
Oh, he does switch out into Rayquaza. But his Kyogre is locked into Ice Beam, isn't it?
Should land the Ice Beam on the Thunderous. Enough to bring it down to its berry, I suppose.
Oh, and it freezes the Thunderous! Wait. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness, the Rayquaza switching! Thunderous and Pokemon do not freeze in sun, except when Rayquaza is on the field getting rid of the sun effect!
So kinda very
Zong Ying is in a very good position right now. He can Ice Beam the Thunderous, he can Waterfall the Groudon, he can Mega Evolve his Rayquaza and Waterfall the Groudon.
It's kind of a play where luck and skill is involved, because the freeze can't happen unless you bring in the Rayquaza. So I just think it's extremely lucky for.
I think it's more luck than skill at this point, to be honest.
Definitely. Rayquaza easily could just.
The worst part was the Thunderous was going for the attack. It was going for the attack, and this is what happened to it. The poor thing. If it went straight for the Thunder Wave, the Kyogre would be neutered. And I think
it's more of now the Thunderous can't do the Thunder Wave despite the.
He does go for the Thunder Wave. He tries to go for the Thunder Wave on the Protect, and the Ice Beam just comes out to finish it off. Probably no Protect from Groudon. We're probably going to see a Waterfall from the.
Yeah, but as you mentioned earlier, the Waterfall from a non-Mega Evolve Rayquaza should not be enough to take out the Groudon.
Oh, he goes for the Dragon Ascent.
Actually, I think predicting a switch here.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to take out the Groudon at all.
No, it's not.
If Groudon goes for Rock Slide, this is actually going to be kind of
quite bad. Yes, and we do see.
Rock Tomb! That is going to hurt Rayquaza.
Yeah, it lowers his speed as well.
But Thunderous is now out of the picture, so if Salamence comes in, it's going to be threatened by the Ice Beam. And with Extreme Speed Ice Beam, Groudon is also probably threatened by an O-Hit KO as well.
I do think that Zong Ying wants to preserve his
Rayquaza.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, but now a Kyogre is coming into play. Yeah, he does want to preserve his Rayquaza since it does have a speed drop.
I think at this point he has to sacrifice either Talonflame or Kangaskhan if he wants to preserve Rayquaza though.
Yeah, and Ice Beam not gonna do much to either. Definitely Matthew banking on dual primals here. Kind of works out in his favor. Actually.
Dual primals is actually pretty good to bank on. But wait, for all we know, Zong Ying might just go for a double switch. Bring back Rayquaza and
Talonflame?
Rayquaza and Kyogre. Sacrifice Kangaskhan, Talonflame. Just go straight for the KO on both of these two Pokemon. But then that leaves the Salamence to deal with. So that's still a bit.
I don't know. Because Zong Ying wants Ice Beam for the Mance, but at the same time he does want Water Spout for the spread damage and to KO the Groudon.
Yeah.
So
he needs to Dragon Ascend the Kyogre as well. So the alternative would be just to rely on Kangaskhan, but he might just go. I think he might just go straight for the Ice Beam.
On the Groudon?
Yeah, Ice Beam Extreme Speed on the Groudon. Sacrifice Rayquaza, bring in Kangaskhan, try to clean up from there.
Well, I suppose if he can force a knockout, he does force the Mance in.
The problem is Groudon hasn't used Protect now, so I think Groudon might just Protect. Oh, and Rayquaza goes for the Protect. Actually. Ice Beam going on to the Groudon. Groudon does not Protect. I think it's within Extreme Speed range, I'm not sure.
And we do see Water Spout.
In fact, I think Kyogre might actually be taken out from here, to be honest.
Let's see what the Groudon goes
it
for.
went for the Rock Tomb again, I think. Is it? No,
Precipice Blades does hit the Kyogre. Doesn't bring it down. Another turn for
Kyogre. Thing on the field.
Yeah, because of the Scarf.
Yeah, so...
There's another turn for Kyogre to land Ice Beam. Perhaps pick up the kill on the Groudon.
I think Zong Ying was actually hoping for Kyogre to go down this so he can bring in Kangaskhan and go with the Fake Out. Because his Rayquaza is now at -1 speed, so the Kyogre is probably going to be outspeeding the Rayquaza.
I can't remember. Is the Mance has not been damaged in any way at all, correct?
Nope.
Okay.
The problem is if it's down to Mance versus Kangaskhan and Talonflame, Mance still has a decent chance of taking
at this point,
out.
Matthew has a very safe play of protecting his Groudon and going for the Water Spout on his
Kyogre. Yeah.
Nothing much that Zong Ying can do, I feel.
That's very true.
So things not looking very good.
I think the previous protect was unnecessary. With the extreme speed, he might have been able to take out the Groudon.
Hard to say.
Yeah, that's quite hard to say.
Could have.
Although he might maybe just bank on a freeze again.
Yep,
Ice Beam.
Groudon
He might just go straight for the Ice Beam freeze, hoping. Rayquaza does go for the extreme speed. Try and do as much damage to Kyogre.
Does Ice Beam? Yep, going on to
Kyogre. Does it freeze? Does it freeze? No, it doesn't.
And Kyogre picks up an easy double KO with a Water Spout.
Waterfall wouldn't have KO.
Well, the question now is Talonflame's Brave Bird enough to take out the Kyogre at this range?
Well, I think it doesn't matter because you still have Kangaskhan. The Rayquaza was not Mega. Kangaskhan you can Mega. It's gonna outspeed it can Fake Out the Kyogre, then outspeed it. Talonflame just Brave Bird. So now his only concern is dealing with the Salamence in the back.
I think it should be okay. Mance has not shown Hyper Voice yet, I believe. So
doesn't matter. Double Edge is probably still going. Double Edge has a chance of KOing a 4 HP Kangaskhan if you are naive. I think, if I remember right.
Well, you could get off some residual damage with Sucker Punch before.
Yeah.
Well, Zong Ying does have advantage of priority if it comes down to the Mance.
I think the one thing I like about priority attack is that it kind of pins your opponents down a bit.
Indeed. So what does Zong Ying go for now?
Admittedly, the Groudon is probably not going. It can't protect, so Brave Bird is going to go onto that slot. You can probably Fake Out, or if you want to be risky, you could try going for the Double Edge. Although I'm not sure that the Kyogre is bulky or not. If the Kyogre is bulky, it's probably not running speed, so therefore it's going to underspeed the. I'm not sure, but the Kangaskhan doesn't look very speedy either.
I think it's max speed actually, but it hasn't Mega evolved yet, which is a concern for me.
Yeah, I mean base 90 is speed ties with Kyogre as well.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, Kangaskhan Mega evolving. This is what Zong Ying has been saving the Mega for. I hope that ends out in his favor, but we'll see.
I kind of feel that maybe Talonflame's Brave Bird should be enough to kill the Kyogre here.
Fake Out going out onto the Kangaskhan. Groudon. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy.
I think he's predicting the attack from Kyogre. No, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, he went for the Brave Bird.
I think he. Is it enough to take it? Yes, it is! Yes, it is!
Let's see if there's any Life Orb Recoil. There is. Yes, there is. No,
that's a Brave Bird Recoil.
Yeah,
that is Life Orb Recoil. I think that might have been Speedy Kyogre. And we do see the Salamence coming in, but now it's still at full health, by the way.
Yes.
This is going to be a bit of a trouble for Zong Ying. He might just want to... I mean, the safest play was still just to go and attack the...
Groudon?
But if he attacks the Groudon and Salamence takes out one of his Pokemon, he's going to be in trouble. He needs both of them alive to take out the Salamence.
Yeah, at the same time, I kind of feel that, Groudon does have Rock Tomb to take out the
Talonflame.
So that he can't really ignore the Groudon either.
So he's in actually a pretty iffy position. I mean, even though they're both down to 2 Pokemon, it's still prediction games that determine who's going to win this.
It's more of Zong Ying's Pokemon can't hit kill any of Matthew's Pokemon without help from the other, while Matthew's Pokemon doesn't have that.
No, he can hit KO the Groudon, no issue. The problem is that he needs both of them to take out the Salamence. So, I don't know, if Matthew might call that Zong Ying just wants to take out the Salamence.
And none of them protected either, so there's that issue as well.
So, and we see Brave Bird!
Oh, no protects coming out actually.
Yes, I think that might have been the best play for Matthew. Does it help?
Brave Bird onto the Mance. Brings it down to about half.
He's going to go for the Double Edge onto the Kangaskhan and the Rock Tomb onto... Is it?
Oh,
no, Hyper Voice coming out. It's enough to take out Talonflame. If Precipice Blades, it's enough to take...
well, we haven't seen what Zong Ying targeted with his Kangaskhan yet.
It's probably the a low kick onto the ground on. But this actually puts him. It really comes down to whether double edge is enough to take out Kangaskhan from this health.
Might be, and yeah, and the Kangaskhan is slower than the men's as well.
Yes,
so
but the thing is, yeah, I think actually double edge will be enough to take out the Kangaskhan.
I feel so too. I feel so too.
But I'm not sure whether Sucker Punch will be able to take out this Mence.
Maybe a crit will be enough too. But
It's not intimidated.
yes, I know, but Mence's physical defense is pretty decent.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah. And
it goes for the Sucker Punch. I guess Zong Ying really.
Zong Ying. Nope, you're not going to be able to take down that Mence.
Is the Mence enough to
And
go
there
to
was a
take it?
critical hit on the second hit as well.
Is the Mence going to take you down?
I
think it's probably so,
yes.
yeah. And Zong Ying.
And well, technically, Matthew does take himself out of the recoil, but
He still wins.
Means he wins this match, and
A very
wins
good
this
game.
set.
A very, very good game from
Yes.
both players. With lots of mind games going on all over the place.
In Zong Ying's defense, I think Zong Ying has been very busy preparing for events to
actually play
practice Pokemon.
properly, yeah.
I know it's very thick-skinned of me to say that, but Zong Ying, it was a pretty decent fight. Zong Ying did have.
I think it was a pretty good
his
game
moments.
actually.
Yeah. Matthew also a pretty good player as well. I have to say,
I think
identifying his win conditions.
I think the thing is, right, when it comes to Railgun and Primal, Dual Primal, it becomes a bit of a prediction game for every single turn.
Zong Ying, would you like to say a few words? Zong Ying, would you like to say a few words?
Please, Justin, take over.
Me? What? Oh, okay. Let Matthew Hui know. So he can swan him later. Come, Zong Ying, how do you feel? Yeah, yes, you could have. How, Zong Ying, how do you feel?
Oh man, that was a really close game. Firstly, I'd just like to thank my counterpart on the Australian side, Matthew, for not only being my opponent for this very fantastic and close set, but also for helping me to put together this entire tournament. I'm sure that both sides are players have fun, and even though we lost by a razor-thin margin, just like how I lost by a razor-thin margin in my own game.
Well, as Wine will put it, a loss is still a loss, but yes, definitely a round of applause to the organizers, especially for putting up such a good show as well. Yeah.
Thank you. I'm sure that will appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, if you had double edged the Groudon instead of faking it out, maybe that would have swung the game in your favor.
I would have been able to force the Sun Mets into a 2v1 situation, and I would have most likely won from there.
Yeah, and well, the Kyogre definitely was scuffed, right? How do you feel? I mean, you had to play around the Thunderous as well. So,
Yes.
was that very difficult?
The Thunderous was very irritating. I had to try my... I got a few like full paralysis on turns where I would have hit really hard on the Thunderous without if it hadn't gotten those Thunder Waves off. So definitely a lot of the dancing around I did in the games was trying to not let my Scarf Kyogre or my Rayquaza get hit by that crippling paralysis. I felt as if I couldn't really get a read on Matthew's playstyle at all. Well, after all, he's a national champion, while
Definitely.
I don't have the results myself.
Hey, don't be. It's not too shabby a result, but well, yeah. Matthew did also utilize Mence's Intimidate quite extraordinarily, I would feel.
Yeah, I was rather disappointed at the damage output my Kangaskhan was doing.
Yeah, so that's definitely a factor, I think, which contributed to your loss. But nevertheless, it was still a very close game. Props to Matthew as well for putting up an extremely good fight. And thank you for organizing an event where it brings the APAC region together.
Right, and I also like to say thank you to all the players on both sides who played their best out, played their hearts out today, and gave everyone some great games to watch. Yeah, I couldn't have been successful without you guys.
With that, I think we can end our event. And yeah, well, I think VGC 17, maybe you'll do something like this again, definitely, right, Zong Ying?
Yeah, with the new season, new metagame, new generation especially, there will always be exciting things to look forward
Zong Ying,
to.
will you be going to Worlds?
I've been to Worlds twice
Are you going this
already,
year? That's the
both
question.
consecutive years, and I think it's time to start making slightly more financially responsible decisions.
Okay, so
unfortunately.
his answer is he will not be
So,
going to Worlds today.
Unless I somehow get... I might try to go as a member of a staff and get a paid trip, my trip paid for that way. But unless that happens, I won't be going, most likely.
Indeed. Well, nevertheless, good event organized, I have to say, from both Zong Ying and Matthew. So thank you for the event.
Right. So just some final shout outs. Thanks to all my commentators who helped me on the stream today. And lastly, we will be having on this very Twitch channel 1 week from now, Singapore's mid-season showdown. There will be plenty of people looking to make their Worlds qualifications, and there will be tons of great prizes to be won as well.
And
There will
hopefully
be best
good
of-
matches.
Yep, hopefully good Pokemon as well. So do be sure to tune in. And with that, I'm going to call this event to a close. Thank you very much. It's been nice having you on stream.
See you soon.
Zong Ying out.